Well, hey everybody, make sure on video 5 below that you watch both A and B, parts A and B. It's marked. Okay, this is video 6. And it's interesting because yesterday day before, this statement was made, and also received a comment on my YouTube channel in the same vein, was somebody that was struggling with this, okay? So someone said, I'm unsure if it's my dream yet. I'm afraid of changing my current career path or job field, work field. So legitimate, that's a legitimate concern. I've known a lot of people to come from either teaching or healthcare into this, many other walks of life, many other types of employment. I came in from working a corporate job, but I had operated my own plant nursery business for 4 years before I went back into working for somebody else. It was shocking. It was disappointing on many levels to see what managers do and how inept some of them are. That's a whole other story. But I understand the fear and the concern about changing fields. On the other hand, on the other side of this are veteran paralegals, believe it or not, who, they go into an area of law. I didn't stay in my first area. The area I worked in it was not known very well. A lot of people don't know about condemnation litigation and eminent domain. I sure didn't. I learned a lot in that job about that field. But someone on my YouTube channel asked, I'm in family law, but I'm not sure that this is for me. And does that mean that the career is not for me, basically? It doesn't really mean that. The area of the paralegal career, you have hundreds of areas of law that you could focus on. And you may be working in 3 at one time, depending on what your attorney does or where you work. You could become quite the expert as a paralegal, not an attorney, but as a paralegal in managing those, 2 or 3 areas of law, and you never expected it. That's a great thing. That makes you more well-rounded. When you major in one, it makes you well-rounded in that area. But it's nice if you can work in 2 areas of law so that you spread your wings a little bit and give yourself some opportunity in case you want to change your job. You have more opportunity than you know at this point as a new person going into this field, that when you go into your first job, if you don't like that area of law, it's totally acceptable to change what you're doing. But you still have to go back to square one, which is what you're doing now. How will you tell the attorney what you know how to do? You always have to do that. If I were to change jobs right now after having 30 years in the field, I still have to be able to tell the attorney what I know how to do. And you can do that as a total newbie. You can. In fact, I teach my students that. So when somebody tells me that they're burnt out, or this field of family law is not for them, that's understandable, because family law, personal injury law, and let's see, it could be criminal law too, and perhaps bankruptcy. They are, some of those, you're dealing with in any area, you're dealing with issues that people have. But some are more emotional than others. Personal injury is definitely, it can be emotional, but it is one of the most interesting areas. So you don't know that going in though. It's only something I say. but you don't know how you're going to feel about it. So you can't just say, well, she said it would be emotional, so I don't want to go in that. You have to go where your passion lies. That's why I like you to and push you to investigate areas of law. Does it light your fires? Is it something you're passionate about? This particular lady that asked this question on the YouTube channel, she does not have to stay in family law. You know, you can make a transition. So nobody, if you start to perceive that you're stuck, then you will be stuck, but you're not stuck. If you go into, I know an attorney who does, let's see, all he does is immigration. I know another attorney in another state who does immigration, personal injury, bankruptcy. It's, you know, he's been an attorney for a while, quite a while, and those are areas that he wants to work in. And so any assistant, and it's a small law firm, any assistant that comes to work for him has to become well versed and know how to manage those cases in those 3 areas of law. And that's not easy for a beginner, okay, in a tiny law firm. I don't recommend that. I recommend you not being the only assistant in something like that. That's too much. There's so much to learn. You don't learn it in a 2-year degree program or a certificate, and certainly not on your own. You can learn a lot on your own, but you're going to learn so much working in the law firm, and having 3 areas of law to focus on is a bit much for a beginner. So it's okay to be unsure if this is your dream yet, but I think that you have to investigate those areas of law to understand what a paralegal does, not what an attorney does. The 2-year courses and a certificate course so often are taught from by an attorney and from an attorney's perspective. That is not how we operate in the law firm as paralegals. So you have to research that on your own, because the only person that I know that's teaching it is me. Unless there's some course out there that a paralegal is teaching, but that is rare to find that in a school because of rules and regulations where they have to hire people with PhDs, and that becomes the attorney. So, okay, so you're unsure if it's your dream yet, that's okay. And you really are not sure if family law is for you, or area of law that you're in, that's okay. I want you to always know, as a new person going in this, you can change your job. Nobody said, oh, now I'm stuck in this forever, it's a trap. It's not. You're making yourself so valuable by gaining knowledge that once you know how to make that transition to another area of law, it's a piece of cake. It's not 100% easy, but you have to be able to explain what you know how to do. You see a theme? When you think that you're stuck, that means that you're hacked. That someone has taken something away from you and you can't go further. That's very far from the truth. So don't assume that oh my gosh, I better make the right decision about what area I go in right from the start because I'm going to be stuck. You're not, you know. So I learned so much by working in the probate field, Probate, that it helped me become a great, litigation paralegal because of what I learned. And honestly, it's the way I manage everything is from that area of law because my attorney managed it correctly, you see. A lot of attorneys don't. And that's where they get into trouble. So one of the biggest areas where what we call negligence of cases, where attorneys don't pay attention to their cases and they just let things slide, It's not uncommon. That's where the paralegals come in. They keep everything on track. But if the paralegal is letting things slide, or the legal secretary, then the whole law firm's in trouble. And that has happened. And attorneys have been fined, suspended, and they have to go through what we call classes or rehab to learn how to be a better attorney. But that goes to the paralegal too. You have to know how to manage everything. So, yes, and that is part of what I teach. So, any questions, comments while you're on with me live, you can feel free to ask or post below. And if you're posting, Facebook's not showing it. I'm surprised the Wi-Fi is actually staying up. I had to move to a better place, but we have a storm coming in, so that can really mess it up. So that is it for this video. At about 1:15, I'm going to do the final video 7, okay? And if you have any questions or anything you want to post on the page in the meantime, then please do that, okay? But the statements people were making, I'm sure that was enlightening for everybody watching, that people had these concerns, or you also had these concerns, and that helps a lot of people when you voice them and you give them a voice and let people know on the page what is bothering you, and then we can cover it. So thank you for making all these statements that I've been able to do videos about since yesterday. Make sure you watch video 1 through, and then the next one will be 7. All right, have a great one, and I'll talk to you at 1:15. Bye.